Hey Mike, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Man, it's too early in the day for this. I'm on Watson, but the frames at Frankfurt are horrible. There's our bites coming. Yeah, but it's early cause the last time that I did a stream was around 8 o'clock my time, and it ended up being too loud for my wife and my daughter, so decided I'd do it a little bit earlier. Um, Unfortunately, it's around time that the sun sets in both Dublin,
And
so
rate
we'll probably be getting
45,
in when it's dark.
what's your airspeed? 45, translate like that, speed is 200.
You have a long day ahead. Okay, so we're just waiting for the aircraft to finish load. We've done up our numbers and everything. As you can see, we are on VATSIM, so we have a bit more traffic around. It's nighttime, or kind of like the transitioning from day to night, so it's dusk, and that's where our performance suffers a lot. So I'm hoping that by the time that we're ready to push back, it evens out a bit. We should be ready to go in about 5 minutes or so. Today we're going to be flying from Frankfurt with my virtual airline Lufthansa, and we're going to be heading over to Dublin. Ideally, I would have loved to have flown over to Cork, but we don't have a Cork airport in P3D, so the next best thing would be Dublin, which coincidentally happens to be the um, destination of the one of the destination of the months for the virtual airline. We have two. One is a short haul and the other is a long haul. I'm doing the short haul one today, which is going to be about 2 hours on the flight time. I think the long haul one is about 14 hours or something like that. Now it's going to be DLH virtual. For the last couple of flights with Fly UK, I've been pretty much just doing GA flying in New Zealand. So all of those flights you saw me in MFS, those were actually the flying club with Fly UK. At the moment, I'm in about five of them. There's Fly UK, there's Delta, there's Qantas. Um, what else is there? There's BA, but I haven't flown with BA for a while, and I think that's it. No, there's United as well. So yeah, five of them. So I'm just checking here. What's the next route of the month is? So it's, oh yeah, Vienna to Montreal. So I'll probably today fly to Dublin. I might fly back from Dublin to Frankfurt and then from Frankfurt to Vienna. But I'm only doing the first leg, the Frankfurt to Dublin, um, on the stream, which is give or take 2 hours or so.
Adventurous 25 left,
No worries, man.
Papa, and we
Appreciate
have,
it.
10 miles.
And you have a good day at work.
Until touchdown.
Alright, let's see what's going on here, guys. Yeah, my frames are awful at the moment. Alright, we finished field. 135. Set seatbelts on. So it's just to finish load, get the final load sheet, and then we are out of here. Looks like we finished loading.
Please also use the space under the seats in front of you for storing your hand luggage, unless you're sitting in the first row or an emergency exit row. Thank you. Boarding completed.
Perfect, boarding's completed. Doors are closing.
Hey guys, so all parks are on board. Are we clear to close?
Yes.
Thanks.
So still no ATC. I was expecting ATC to come on. We've got a bit of traffic on the field. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 aircrafts. And it's going to be a bit of a taxi. We're going to push back and taxi out to runway 18. That's our load sheet.
The 2 Papa Heavy.
Got one additional passenger.
Happy landing. Danke schön.
Perfect. Load sheet accepted. Doors are closed, and let's get out of Dodge. Fuel pumps coming on.
25 heavy has established on 5.
Beacon is on.
Frankfurt traffic arrow for 2656. Pushback from stand Delta 1. Lufthansa 2 Papa, welcome to Frankfurt.
Jetway is taking forever to move. Let's see if we can speed it up with Nope. That just brings it back. Alright, we just wait for it to move. In the meantime, let's do our checks. Before start, checklist, please.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On auto.
ADRs.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
17,240 pounds. 17,240 pounds. Set and check.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Baro ref.
0997 set.
0997 set. Electronic load sheet.
Sent.
Down to the line.
Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Set.
Before start checklist complete.
Lufthansa traffic Delta 978 is getting ready to push and start.
Hello,
from
Captain.
Alpha
We are
22
ready for pushback.
with X traffic. Frankfurt traffic, sorry.
Locking gear.
Hey Dave, welcome man. No worries at all. Hope you're good. Are you better?
Departure check completed. Pipe has been inserted. Release parking
traffic, Emirates 45, landing 25, left.
Excuse me, parking brake speeds.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Starting engine 2.
Check.
Cabin crew, all doors in flight.
Love to hear these engines starting up.
Meine Damen und Herren, ich begrüße Sie auch ganz herzlich an Bord unseres A320. Zusammen mit meinen Kollegen bin ich für den Kabinenservice heute verantwortlich. Schneiden Sie sich jetzt bitte an und ziehen Sie Ihren Sitzgurt fest. Schalten Sie jetzt auch bitte alle Mobiltelefone und andere Geräte mit Sendefunktion entweder in den Flugmodus oder vollständig aus.
Frankfurt, Scarfo 2656, exit the holding point runway 25 center via
Gemeinsam
November
mit
1,
meinen Kolleginnen
Lima
und
1.
Kollegen wünsche ich Ihnen nun einen angenehmen Aufenthalt an Bord. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to add my welcome to that of our cabin.
Starting engine
Together
1.
with my colleagues, I will
Check.
be responsible for the cabin service on your flight today. Please fasten your seatbelt now and pull it tight. Please make certain that your mobile phones and all other electronic devices with transmission functions are either switched to flight mode or switched off completely. If you would
Right,
like to
parking
know
brake.
more about using electronic devices on board, please read the information in your Lufthansa magazine.
Parking brake set.
My colleagues.
Unlocking gear.
Sollte der Druck in der Kabine sinken, fallen automatisch Sauerstoffmasken aus der Kabinendecke.
Tow truck
Ziehen Sie eine
disconnected.
Maske
Pipe
ganz
has
so
been
sicher
removed.
runter, um den Sauerstofffluss zu starten. Drücken Sie sie dann auf Mund und Nase und streichen Sie das elastische Band über Ihren Kopf. Danach helfen Sie Kindern, Personen, die Hilfe benötigen. In the unlikely event of a loss in cabin pressure, oxygen masks will automatically drop from the panel above you. Pull the mask down fully to start the flow of oxygen. Cover your mouth and nose with the mask and secure it by
Left is
pulling the
clear,
elastic strap
right is
over your
clear.
head. Then assist any children
Perfect,
and
you've
people
got
who
all
require
clear.
assistance.
Lufthansa 455, pushback facing.
Unter jedem Sitz ist eine Schwimmweste. Auf Anweisung der Crew ziehen Sie die Weste über den Kopf. Führen Sie den vorne angebrachten Gurtarm um Ihre Hüfte und schließen Sie ihn. Ziehen Sie ihn dann fest. Unmittelbar bevor Sie das Flugzeug verlassen, ziehen Sie an dem roten Grip, um die Weste aufzublasen. Wenn Sie das Flugzeug durch ein Notfenster verlassen, blasen Sie die Weste erst außerhalb auf.
After start checklist, please.
Falls erforderlich,
Anti-ice.
nutzen Sie den roten Mundschlauch, um die Weste
Ecam
aufzublasen.
status.
Die Signallampe leuchtet bei
Pitch
Kontakt
trim.
mit Wasser automatisch auf.
25% set.
There is a life vest under
Rudder
the
trim.
seat. When instructed to do
25.
so,
After
by
start
the
checklist
cabin
complete.
Here,
pull the
Mike.
vest over your head.
Flight control strap.
Fasten the belt around
Ready.
the waist once and
Demo.
fasten the clasp. Then pull the belt
For
tight.
traffic Aero
Full.
2657, line up and take
Full
off
down.
runway 25 center.
Neutral.
If you leave the aircraft through an overwing exit, do not inflate the vest
Full left.
until you are outside the aircraft. If necessary,
Full
blow
right.
into the red tubes to inflate the vest or top up the air.
Neutral.
The signal lights up automatically in contact
With
water.
you. Full left.
In der Sitztasche finden Sie eine
Full right.
Informationskarte mit allen Sicherheitshinweisen.
Neutral.
Bitte prägen Sie sich besonders die Lage der Notausgänge ein. Sie sind mit dem Wort Exit gekennzeichnet. Leuchtstreifen am Boden zeigen Ihnen den Weg dorthin. Bitte beachten Sie, dass sich der nächstgelegene Notausgang auch hinter Ihnen befinden kann. In your seat you will find an information
Clear
card
left side.
explaining the safety
Clear right
instructions.
side. Check.
Please take particular note of the location of the emergency exits, which are marked with the word exit. Illuminated strips on the floor
Right,
will
check.
guide you to the exits. Remember that the nearest
Pressure
exit
zero.
may be located behind you. Meine Damen und Herren, nur noch der Hinweis, dass dieser Flug ein
Frankfurt
nicht
traffic, Del
Raumflug ist.
Lufthansa
Ladies
978
and
in
gentlemen,
station
this
to
flight is
runway
responsible flight.
18. Frankfurt traffic.
Meine Damen und Herren, zum Start stellen Sie bitte Ihre Rückenlehnen senkrecht und klappen die Tische zurück. Passagiere an einem Fensterplatz werden gebeten, die Sonnenblende zum Start zu öffnen. Wir wünschen Ihnen nun einen guten Flug. Ladies and gentlemen, for takeoff, please ensure that your seat is in upright position and your table is folded away. Passengers seated at the window seat are kindly asked to open the window shades for takeoff.
Hey guys,
Thank you.
welcome. If
Enjoy
you're
flight
now
with us.
joining us, we've just pushed back from the gate. We are currently at Frankfurt International Airport and we're just starting out to runway 18 where we're going to depart and head over to Dublin. We are in the FS Labs A320 this afternoon and we are operating the flight with the Lufthansa
Frankfurt
virtual
traffic, Lufthansa 980 lining up runway 25 center. Lufthansa 455, taxi holding point runway 25 left November, Tango and Romeo 3.
Emirates 45, if you agree, crossing runway 25, then that Mike 14 will be out of there in 2 minutes.
It's busy tonight in Frankfurt.
Frankfurt Africa for 2657 airborne. Please report when you have vacated 25 center.
So we just vacated Emirates 45, thank you. Taxing further November, sorry, Lima. Lufthansa 1059, are you established on 5 left?
Yeah.
Roger, I wait.
This taxi feels almost as long as when I'm taxiing at Amsterdam. Love how the shadows actually lighting up and darkening in the cockpit. This airport has dynamic lighting, as you can see. Once you fall under the lights, it's a little bit brighter in the cockpit, and then when we move away, it gets dark again. We take it for granted in real life, but it's really, really cool when it's in the sim.
Meine Damen und Herren, nun wird nur noch das Kabinenlicht abdunkeln. Sie finden Ihre persönliche Leselampe über Ihrem Sitz. Ladies and gentlemen, we will dim the cabin light now. You find your personal reading light above your seat.
Lufthansa 455, landing up on 5 left.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
Lufthansa 455, takeoff runway 25 left.
Before takeoff, checklist, please.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1, VR, V2, flex temp.
V1 is 159. VR is 159. Flight temp is 62 degrees. Set and check.
V1 159, VR 159, V2 160, flex temp 62 degrees, ATC,
Set.
Ecam memo,
Takeoff nobly.
down to the line, approach path clear of traffic. Cabin crew be seated for takeoff.
Lufthansa 455, have you cleared the approach path for 18?
Negative, Lufthansa 455.
Roger, we'll continue holding.
Lufthansa 455 approach is allocated.
Where is he? Strange, because I don't see anything. Oh, he was behind me. Alright, I'll wait. We've got time. Yeah, Dave, I was just saying it's just like Amsterdam. I guess this guy wants to get off before me, so we'll let him go. There was an aircraft that was taken off from 25 Charlie. I called him, but this guy here answered instead, so I line up behind him.
Lufthansa 4 up to the taking off on it.
Lufthansa traffic down to 978. It's lined up on 18 behind traffic. Below the line.
Takeoff runway.
18 confirmed.
18 confirmed. Cabin crew.
Thank you. Advise them. Advise. Set and check.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
PAX.
Approaching.
Off.
1.
Before
8.
takeoff checklist complete.
Frankfurt traffic.
On
Lufthansa
runway
978
one,
is holding on
8.
runway 18. Let's see where this guy is. He's not passing the threshold. We'll give him a minute and then we'll take off. You can see him there.
On runway 18. On runway
He's about 10
1,
miles out. Let's go.
8.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 978 is taking off runway 18. Ready?
AFIRM.
Take off.
Check.
One flight 67, SRS runway building.
Thrust set. .100 knots.
Check.
Positive climb.
Hero.
Gear up. Packs are on.
Flap 0.
Speed checked. Flaps
Front
0.
traffic, Lufthansa 978 is climbing through 3000. We are currently on the Orbach 1 Lima departure. Final call. After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
Down to the line.
Set standard.
Standard cross-checked.
Set seatbelts off. Below the line.
Barrow ref.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff, climb checklist complete.
As soon as we took off, Frankfurt tower came on. You can see we have any ATC on the way at the moment. Nope,
Confirm seatbelts off.
doesn't look so. Confirmed.
Confirm clear at nav.
Affirm.
Meine Damen und Herren, da jederzeit unerwartete Turbulenzen auftreten können, sind Sie verpflichtet, sich anzuschnallen, sobald Sie Ihren Sitzplatz eingenommen
Confirm
haben.
copy
Dies gilt
active
auch
to
dann, wenn die
secondary.
Anstellzeichen ausgeschaltet
Affirmative.
wurden. Ladies and gentlemen, as turbulence can occur unexpectedly at any time, you are required to have your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. This also applies if the seatbelt signs are switched off.
Cruise flight level is as shown. Optimal flight level is as shown. Recommended flight level is as shown. Are you happy with our current selected flight level?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay guys, I am all yours now. We are climbing through 13,000 feet, heading up to 36. And we've got about 600 miles to go, 630 something miles to go. For those now joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know for some it's the beginning of the day. For some like me, it's pretty much the end of the day. But wherever you
Check.
are in the world, I hope you are going to have a great day or evening. And thanks for just stopping by, even if it's just to say hi or take a quick view. We just took off from Frankfurt International Airport. We are going over to the Emerald Isle, so that is Ireland, where it pretty much rains every single day. Unfortunately, the rain is gone, so we don't expect any for our arrival. We are flying in real time, so it's not going to be that much to see. I thought about changing it today, but then it offsets everything which is time related on the simulator, like the A-cards, the gate information and stuff like that. So forgive me if you don't see much. Try to keep it as entertaining as possible, and feel free to tell me to shut up if I'm boring you to tears. We are in the FS Labs A320, and we are doing this flight with our virtual airline I keep saying Delta, but it's Lufthansa virtual today. We are in the Say Yes to Europe livery. Might be a little bit of a contentious thing, especially with Brexit just finished, but remain in no political stance by this, one way or the other. I just think that the livery is very well done, and it's quite nice over the traditional livery. So, what's good in your world? Chat with me if you like. Help me get rid of some of this loneliness and the nerves. If the approach goes well, the disciple, then yeah, definitely. If it doesn't, let's be like, I personally, my landings are a lot much more worse at night than at day, for the main reason that at night I have a little bit of feeling of death. In the daytime rather, at nighttime is pretty much just guessing a lot. So sometimes I flare too early, sometimes I flare too late, and then I leave a big crevice, or crater rather, on the runway. We're doing good, Mike. How's your day going? We took off, we are in our climb, and ATC came on just after I departed for Tower. We have no ATC en route. We'll be passing, which is a bit shocking considering the time. It's only 5:06 p.m. here. There's ATC in the UK, some over Germany, but that's not in our route. So it looks like unless London approach comes on, it's just going to be us and traffic really. Yeah, I did that. I didn't think about that. I changed the time after I had done the init, and it messed with my boarding and stuff like that. So I put it back and I just left it as it is. If you prefer, I can change it to day now if you like, because nothing is going to be influenced by time. You guys want daylight, or you're happy with the night? It's up to you guys. I'm not bothered either way. Yeah, Mike. Not Mike. Dave. What was that again, John? About changing the time of day messes up air cards. So, not the air cards with the virtual. Okay, I'll leave it. Not air cards with the virtual airlines, but the air cards that's built into FS Labs. You can set it up manually for certain things to be done. Like your boarding and stuff like that, or you can put it on a schedule. So when you're first setting up the aircraft, after you've init your flight and stuff like that, you can put in the details like who the crew name is. I do that, and then right after that I would start the ground operations, the catering and but catering I will do manually, so I usually do that immediately. The fuelers that get sent automatically, so that depends on where the fuel station is located at the airport. The boarding, you can decide if you just want to say board now, or you can actually tell it a time that you would like boarding to start. So I usually put boarding close to when fuelers will be finished, and I did that on this flight, but then realized that my frames were really bad at the airport because of all the ATC, not ATC, the aircrafts, plus Frankfurt is very hard on performance. So I changed it back by an hour earlier, and it just messed the schedule completely up, so I had to change it back, and that's how we ended up with night. But you guys are happy with it, I'm happy with it. I'm pretty easy. Hey Selma, what's up? My dog came to see what's going on. Good girl? Okay, you can't stay here. I'm not gonna pet you all night. Go on, go back. I'll go to the others. That would be nice. Mike, I keep meaning to take up that flight, but man, I don't know, for the last 3 or 4 days I just haven't been feeling flight sim, and I just figure, you know what, I'll just throw one up today. To be fair, I would just like them to fix the handling characteristics on landing, and I'd be happy with that. With the they will probably give it a certain amount of immersion, but until that SDK is fixed, it wouldn't be to the level of FS Labs. I mean, like at the moment I kind of have the same immersion that we have with GSX with the FS Labs, I actually have in MFS with FS2 crew, because it controls the fuelers. It calls the fuel truck automatically. It calls the vehicles for the GPU, and I think the one that does the toilets, I think. It also does the loading manually. It's all on a time schedule. I can't change it, so it is what it is. But there's no passengers in the Siemens yet, so there's no loading of passengers, just loading of bags. And even then, it's still a bit I don't want to say wanting, but let's use that for the lack of a better word. For the main reason that even if you were to do it manually in MFS, for some reason they have the fuel truck fueling on the left side of the aircraft, which is the same side that the passengers board, which isn't realistic. Is actually completely wrong. I've not seen in my life an aircraft ever at the gate doing that. Yeah, it's getting there, man. Like with the fly-by wire mods, that they took an aircraft that was so frustrating and they've made it quite manageable for the most part. There's still a few bugs down to no fault of theirs, but that Neo has come a long way. I'm even tempted to give the 747 another go. Definitely not touching the 787 though. To be honest, I think that once they have the SDK sorted, we won't be even looking at that Neo anymore after a couple months, no matter how good it gets. Because if you've got players like Aerosoft putting theirs in, and you've got FS Labs who would eventually come to the market, not much hope in any hurry, but we'll see. For some reason my chat box isn't working. I don't know why. I'll probably have to do over this overlay. Below the line, I've seen an aircraft fuel on the same side of the passenger port side. It was an eye shocker for me, but I think years later they changed their policy. Oh! Which aircraft was that below the line? And welcome, by the way. Welcome. I'm done with all those heavies in that symbol. The 787 and 747 gets worse with every update, even with the mods. I just wait for Quality Wing 787 series, which should be out by some. You know, I don't know, like, I'm not holding up for that 787, man. They were so late with FSX and P3D. I've been seeing the pictures, but that was one shot, two shots maybe, and that was like early when the sim was released. I think even though that they're late, that Aerosoft is going to be the first regardless. Airsoft is going to be first in the sim with a good version jet, and that's going to be the CRJ. I haven't seen any talk about the Airbuses, which is strange because usually that's the first aircraft they work on before anything else. But I think the CRJ has probably been getting a lot more love and attention from the community, that they probably just switch gears this time, and instead of rolling out with the Airbus as their debut plane for MFS, they've opted to go for the CRJ. Whichever one they go with, I'm gonna be an early adopter, because some of these aircraft, it just leaves you wanting a bit more. The Disciple, what aircraft are you looking forward to most in MFS? Does it have to be in development or announced? I think I would be looking at something modern. I would love the 747, but it needs to have more immersion than what it currently has. FS Labs have spoiled me so much that it's really hard for me to fly other aircraft because the immersion is just on a level on its own. But I would be actually no. I take that back. The Concorde. I want the Concorde. That is the most anticipated aircraft for me. I forgot about that because FS Labs started back making the Concorde again. I think it's for P3D that they're doing, but I'm hoping they're doing one at MFS along the way. There's another company that just did a Concorde as well. I think it's Just Flight. They've released one about 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, for P3D, and they're working on their model for MFS. It's not going to be as high fidelity as FS Labs and stuff, but if they bring it, I'll probably buy it. I saw the cost, like I think it was $40 for P3D, so I don't expect that much. I just want something that has decent dynamics and I can enjoy really. Hey sis, welcome. How are you? The Beaver, Dave. The de Havilland Beaver. I'm not that familiar with the Havilland planes outside of the Dash 8s and the Dash 6, you know. Michael, FS Labs Airbus series, although we're probably 3 years out. Probably 5 is more like it. Hey Mrs. Spur, great stream last night. Yes sis, I really enjoyed the stream last night, but I was miserable, so I went offline
1,000 to go.
I went and ate chocolate, which I shouldn't be eating at the moment. Lots of chocolate. So yeah, and then I went to sleep. I woke up something like 1 o'clock my time today. But next time you stream, if it's earlier, I'll try to be on a bit longer. Oh, I didn't know you have a stream now. What stream do you have on at the moment? How long is it going to go for? Yeah, Mike, I'll see you in a bit. Cheers, Disciple. Which one would you want to see? So we're now approaching our cruise altitude, 500 feet to go. What I want to see above anything else though in the upcoming, well, in the
Cruising
same,
flat level T60 check.
whether it be Microsoft or even XP, I would like the developers to challenge themselves more, man. A lot of the developers are still quite happy, but PC12 or MD11 will be up there. The PC12, yeah, definitely. MDs, I'm not that big on old aircraft that are being phased out, but yeah, definitely the more choices we got, the more uptake we will definitely get in the same, and obviously that ensures the longevity of it. But I was saying I want to see a bit more immersion. I want them to challenge themselves to make their products feel as if we were actually in the very real life counterpart in the environment. Like in FS Labs, I can close my eyes and I can pretend that I'm an actual pilot doing a leg. Everything associated with the plane gives you that kind of immersion, from the lower sheet being sent to you electronically. I get SIGMATs when I'm in the air. I get reports like that. I'm gonna get a message as I get closer to top of descent, and it's gonna tell me what gate I'm gonna park at and stuff like that. So I want that. I don't want developers to just make a model of a product and then just leave it at that. I see Aerosoft has followed suit, and they've started to make their products more integratable with other products like GSX. FS Labs was the first to do it. Airsoft is doing it. I know PMDG has their own vehicles, so they're never going to do that with GSX. But the problem with PMDG vehicles is that there's no, I don't want to say there's no symmetry. It's just that, how do I explain it without being too negative or being negative at all? They're basic vehicles that they do what they're supposed to do and they do it well, but it doesn't give you the wow factor that GSX would give you or UGCX would give you. Even UGCX needs to have a bit more done, like having the same integration of passengers. The sim itself really doesn't come with passengers. This is something that comes from third parties, so it might be something that they might not so much want to venture into. Yeah, definitely a Saab. I was gonna say probably a Fokker, but even I love the Fokkers, but if they did have the Fokker in, I probably wouldn't buy it for the main reason that KLM was the last airline to fly the Fokkers, and they stopped flying the Fokkers a few months back. I think even before the pandemic had hit. I would like the guys with the ejects, Wilco, I think it is. Is it Wilco that did the last ejects? I like them to come over to MFS as well, but I wanted to step up the game. I wasn't really happy when I saw all the obvious things that they should have caught with their beta checks. Things like lights glaringly into the cockpit when they're on the flaps and stuff like that. But I'm all for the every single developer bringing their own products over to the sim. Yeah, man, I did love the Fokkers. They were amazing aircraft. I just used to get a headache every time I sat next to the engines, but those planes were like beasts, man, like mini pocket rockets. But like everything else, all good things come to an end, I guess. I was hoping that, sometimes is all good and well to stick stuff in libraries, museums and stuff like that, but I wish that when an aircraft was reaching its end of life, that somebody would just, rather than just sticking them in the desert or sticking the one in a museum, find someone that is happy to keep it running and use it as a tourist attraction, not stationary, but actually do like tours around the country. I mean, if I had the money, obviously we're not talking about something like a very, very high speed aircraft like the Concorde, because for one, it'd be very expensive to maintain, and two, you can't really use that to do tours. It's too fast. You can't go slow enough. So that would just be like it just defeat the whole purpose. But I mean, like a plane like a Fokker, or even if you can have a plane like maybe the 737-300 or something like that. If I had the funds, I would take one of those aircraft and convert it into a flying restaurant. We could either have people pre-order what they would want for dinner or whatever. It's made on the ground, and then you just put them in heaters, put them onto the plane, you take off, you do a low tour above, like in my case I live in Ireland, so do a low tour around the whole island. We're big enough that we can do that in like maybe an hour going slow or something like that. You have your meals, and obviously at an altitude that you're not too high but you're not too low that you're a nuisance to other persons. But I would love to see that people, when an aircraft comes to its end of life with an airline, they find someone to keep that aircraft in the air, because it's a part of history that you'll never get back, and some people will never actually get to appreciate it because they never seen it. Like, I grew up on the Concorde, working on the Concorde. From a handling point of view, I used to work with the handling agents, so we used to meet the Concorde every Saturday, and I always wanted to step foot on it. Fortunately, in Barbados they have one in the museum, but it's just a quick walk in, have a look around, and then out. But like I said, if you can have like a live activity with it, that isn't too far out, that people can actually appreciate and get a chance to experience what it was like for like the same Fokker, the Dash 8s that will probably go out of service soon. Aircrafts like that aren't too fast, you can do pleasure tours with, maybe quick meals and stuff like that. Qantas did something like that with the 747. They did a tour around Australia a few months back. It wasn't food, but it was a kind of final farewell tour, I presume. I didn't read that much into it, but I think we need to do a bit more to keep our aircraft history alive. And the rant. Alliance Airlines in Australia still flies Fokkers. Do they? I thought they were completely retired. I've never heard of Alliance Airlines before. Are they just regional, or I've got a slight headwind, 17 knots. We've got 450 miles to go, so we'll be on the ground just in about an hour and 27 minutes or thereabouts. How many do they have in the fleet? Let me pull them up. In Canada, Dash 8 will definitely have a bright future, for the main reason that you guys own Bombardier. But elsewhere, I don't know. It's not the most comfortable aircraft, for one. From what I've heard, the 400s aren't as comfortable as the 300s. The Q500s, wow. Yeah. There's an approach in the Caribbean. There's a country in the Caribbean called Dominica. And I've heard people talk of the approaches there. They are amazing. You've got the dashes from Liat that fly in there. I've always wanted to experience that. We are looking to go back next year, early next year, and we're probably going to go from Grenada. So we're definitely hoping to get some kind of turboprop. Unfortunately, the Dash 8s are gone from Caribbean Airlines. They've gone from Liat. I think Caribbean Airlines only has one left, so chances of that it's going to be really small. In the Caribbean, the Dashes have all been pretty much replaced by the ATRs, and I think the biggest operator of the ATRs in the Caribbean would be I think Leah had 7. I'm not sure if that number is still the same after they went into administration. There's another one, Aero. I'm trying to. It's a French company. They have it as well. Oh, okay. WestJet and Air Canada fly quite a few Dash 8s. They are the routing plane used into places like Frankfurt, etc. They also fly Beach 1900s. WestJet has 1900s? I didn't even know that there was a Dash 8 500. Is it going to be a Q or is it just the 500? Yeah, it's going to be a Q. What's the difference between the 500 and the 400? I think TFDI, the Disciple, TFDI has their 717, I believe, so more than likely they're definitely going to come over to MFS. It's where all the money's at anyways. So you've got, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, because you've got so much new adopters taking up MFS. It caters to persons of every age like no sim has ever done before. So you've got persons like the hardcore simmers like Michael and Johnny, then you've got the ones that are like just a level down, which would be like me, and then you've got persons that just want to put something up in the air, do a couple of stalls, cartwheels, or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't cost you anything to do all of that except the actual simulator itself. So it's just a matter of when they're going to come, and it's not that they don't want to come, it's just the SDK at the moment is it's not complete. They gotta drop their prices for their planes though. I was tempted to buy it and I saw the price tag and I was like, nah, I'm not spending that kind of money on a very old aircraft that I probably just fly once every now and then. It's different to spending on the NGXU, the FS Labs, the Aerosoft, stuff like that. But for a 717, I'm not going to be spending all that money for that. At best, I would probably, like, even Quality Wings 787 and 789 was something like $70 or something like that, and these other developers prices north of that. So if you're gonna bring an airplane and it's good, yeah, I'll look at you. But if the price is too unrealistic for me, it's not happening. I hear you, Dave, man. Look, when you see, like, there's a couple of things that you need to take into consideration when it comes to these aircraft. Yeah, I appreciate that it's a lot of hard work that's gone into it and you should be paid for your work, However, I don't believe that if you're making something that is vintage and I'm not going to fly it regular, I'll support you if your pricing is right. If your pricing isn't right, then I'm not going to do it. I personally was against the price of FS Labs, for example. It took Michael to get me flying FS Labs. There was another reason that I won't go into on the stream. Most people are familiar of it. I don't want controversy, so I'm not going to touch that. But the price was actually a big deterrent for me. And if I knew what I know now, and I saw the price of FS Labs for the first time, I would buy it, because it's become so immersive that if you look at 10 of my flights, you'll probably see 8 of them actually being the FS Labs. On the other hand, I spent $100 for the NGXU, and I hardly use it. I've flown it probably maybe 3 times in the last 6 months or whenever it was released, because for one, I thought it was the max, which is my fault. But for two, secondly, there's very little immersion. It's ridiculously heavy on frames, and I feel like I kind of tricked myself into buying an aircraft that I really don't like as much. The same thing with the Aerosoft A330. The plane looks lovely. I love that plane in real life, and everything is fine with it until you're coming into the landing. And I've always had that issue with Aerosoft. Everything goes well until the landing, but then it's a bit of a struggle to get the plane to stay where you want it or to do what it wants, and it kills it for me. And I had said that until they had fixed that, I wouldn't buy another Airsoft, but now we're saying that as soon as the CRJ comes, I'm going to probably be one of the first persons to buy it. So when you're looking at the pricing, I try to look at it from an objective point of view. I want to look at, yeah, he's getting money for his work, but I also want to look realistically, how much am I going to use that airplane? How often am I going to be enjoying this aircraft? And if you've got a price tag that's about, say, $100, and I'm going to use it once every 3 months, I'm more inclined to leave it. Now, if that same aircraft, bearing in mind that I'm going to use it for the same amount of time, price was maybe, say, $60 opposed to $100, I would probably buy it, because I can see myself still getting my worth out of it rather than keeping it in the hangar. What bugs me with toll is if I want to get more than one variant of the bus, man, it will cost 200 plus, as each variant is sold separately. Is it that expensive? That's more expensive than FS Labs. When you say variant, do you mean the engine, or do you mean the actual, like, 319, 320? Or do you mean the airframes? Do you mean engine variants or airframes? Because I thought that Captain Sim is the only one that did that nonsense with the, where you had to buy each different airframe, not airframe, engine. The Disciple, I like doing short routes as I have a short attention span. Like, for most of my flight, the longest you will ever see me sitting down and do a flight is when I'm on a stream. Usually I actually do quite long flights. I do the takeoff, I do the landing, but in between I'm actually doing chores. This is probably the longest I've ever sit down since I've started simming and watch a screen. I've got 367 miles to go. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, Captain Sim did that nonsense. PMDG started doing it as well, but not to that extreme. So, what Captain Sim did was they released a 757 um, with one engine variant, which was the, I think it was with the GE engines, and most airlines, to the best of my knowledge, actually had the Rolls Royce engines. So you had to pay more for just to have the Rolls Royce engines. And I waited until they actually had a sale, and Michael and myself, we both bought the aircraft. It was the biggest disappointment of ours, that we can remember as it relates to aircraft. Michael flew it once and never flew it again. I tried giving it a chance, but I eventually uninstalled it. It's too expensive for what it gives. It looks great. They have a very high detail in terms of the looks, both inside and outside. But after that, it's just a huge disappointment. I had to do that as well, Dave. With FS Labs, I bought the 320 is the base. So you buy the 320, and then you buy the 319, and then you buy the 321. So it would probably come back to the same thing as Tolis, because I don't remember the price now. The add-ons were like $50 each or something like that. I regret buying the 321 because I don't fly it. It was never my favorite aircraft in the Airbus in real life. So when I bought the 321, I did a couple flights with it, and then I decided, like, nah, I've got it installed, but I haven't really flown it. But I can't. The reason why I'm not too bothered about it is that it's kind of like the gift that keeps giving. What I bought FS Lab at back when I bought it is completely different to how it is today, and with every update they're adding some different feature. You've got, I'm not sure if you can see it here now. You'll probably, now you won't see it now because it's nighttime, but during the day you've got passengers on board adjusting window shades based on where the light is from the sun. That's one of the latest features that they've added, and it might seem a bit silly or trivial, but it adds to the immersion. When you've got sunlight coming in real life, you've got passengers putting down the shades so the sun isn't blinding them and stuff like that. You've got it on this aircraft. You've got the GSS integration. You've got the ACARS integration. I can send messages from one aircraft to a next by texting on FS Labs. So when I look at how much I spent for FS Labs, it probably came over 200, and I would do it again because it's something that keeps getting better with time. It's like wine, it gets better with age. Other developers, I'm not quite fond of spending that money. So take for example PMDG again. The PMDG came out, the NGXU came out with just the 700 and the 800 for $99. I bought it. They then came and said they were doing the 600 and 700 for $25. Got it. They then came back and said they're doing the BBJ now, and I think that's either $25 or $50. Did not get it, because when I looked at it, it's great marketing because you're spending a little bit at a time and you're thinking, it's not too bad, it's not too bad. But when you look at it, it's come back to the price of FS Labs, and it doesn't have the immersion. They have their own global something that was supposed to come out last year. It hasn't. It's a little bit like that thing that Matt Davis have. It's like Sim Toolkit, but it's their own version. I'm surprised the Captain Sim was like that for the C130 back in FSX. Yeah, I'm surprised that people still buy it, but I guess there will always be someone. But I would never, I don't think I'll ever buy their aircraft ever again. Period. The core of the plane is identical, but they all fly differently. Like, yeah, they've got similar engines, they've got a lot of similarities that you don't need to have a type rating for each of them, but it's not the same plane. Like, if you look at X-Plane, you see people that would have had the 320 that wanted the 320 Neo, and there's a Neo mod to change the engines, but that was just for aesthetics. It did nothing else. Whereas you've got people selling the A320 Neo, where it has it flies different because of the winglets. It's got the different types of engines, so it's different distances that it can fly and stuff like that. So it's alright for you to look at it and say, well, it's pretty much the same concept or it's the same plane. But if Tolis is anything like FS Labs, they're gonna put a lot of work to make it as similar to the real world counterpart. And the 320, the 320 Neo, the 321, they're all different planes. They all fly differently, different weights and stuff like that. So all that has to be factored in. In terms of pricing, to be fair, I always tell people I would never price someone's work. What I price is what I am happy to pay, and if what they're asking is less than what I am willing to pay, then it's a no. But I would never tell someone, look, you need to lower your price or something like that, because if I tell you that I'm selling you something that's my price, and if you can't afford it, there's nothing wrong with that. Move on. But I think, though, back to your point, Dave, when you have a niche in the market, you can do what you want with the pricing, and there isn't much that would affect that. But when it comes to MFS, because of how the pricing scheme is arranged on MFS, if say for example, if you look at the airports, for example, you'll see that most airports are around the price of anywhere between usually between $10 and $20. If someone came now and say they're making an airport, but you have to pay 35 euros for it, which would probably be something like 40, maybe $42, $41 for it, it's not going to get that much uptake. Whereas if you go into like P3D and you say, I've made this airport, we're selling it for $40, it's going to get a better response there, because that's the norm. To buy an airport in P3D for anything under $20, it's going to be pretty much non-existent unless there is a sale. So Tolis and those other guys can do that in the market that they're currently in. But if Tolis came over to MFS and they're competing with Aerosoft, they're competing with FS Labs, their prices will have to drop significantly for people to buy them. Yes, you'll have the die-hard customers that ain't leaving them and will gladly push out that kind of money regardless. But for the most part, those customers don't usually be a big part of the equation. And if you want to maximize your profits, you need to take into consideration persons that might not want that high level of immersion, but they're not too bothered if they have it or not. They just want something to shoot around in the sky. Those persons aren't going to pay $200 for 2 planes when they can turn around and spend $100 and get 2 planes or 3 planes that does exactly what they want. 321 is a slight longer 320 Neo. You can text other pilots in the FBW mod as well. Oh, okay. This the ability to do it in FS Labs is incorporating another developer. I can't remember what it's called, but he's put it in such a way that now when segments are published, if you're in the area, you will actually get that message warning you of these segments and stuff like that. Alright, let's see where we are. We are 293 miles out. It's a bit early, but I am going to set it up because I don't want to be caught chatting away and then realize I've only got 90 miles to go and I haven't done this. Plus the aircraft is going to start warning me soon about setting up the aircraft. So the first thing I am going to do is pull up the weather, active sky, and we are looking at Dublin. Winds are 260 at 11 knots. We've got a few clouds at 1800 feet. Temperature is 3 degrees. Michael is gonna love that weather. Dew point is 1 degrees. There's no precipitation. Alright, so I am gonna get my runway first. Probably 28, I don't know. Let's see what SimBrief said it was going to be. Two-eight left. I think in real life it's 28 left, but I don't think the runway that we have in the sim has a 28 left. It might. Let me have a look. There's ATC on now. I should actually be in ATC, but nobody contacted me. And we've got Dublin Tower there. So I am going to check their ATIS. Here we go. So information whiskey for Dublin, time 17:30, so 26 minutes ago. Expect ILS approach 28 left. Okay, so 28 left it is. And I have the bags to X-ray arrival. In. Just gonna look through for some discontinuities. No discontinuities. Sweet. So let's get the descent wings. That's climb, that's cruise, and that's descent, and we'll do a wind request. The Disciple, that's the one benefit I have being a casual sim pilot. More planes are available because I'm satisfied having it look nice and basic systems working. And I love GA airplanes, so there's just less going on in general. Man, the Disciple, I have been flying up a storm with GA aircraft in MFS. Almost finished my New Zealand tour. I've got, I think, about 8 more airports to do, and they're pretty much all about like 20-minute flights. I've flown the 172, most of it, but most recently I've flown the Diamond. Dave, you know, I was wondering why I was having so much trouble landing the Diamond. For some reason, the way that the aircraft is only coordinated on the ground. So I put on the autopilot on it, and the plane is literally skirting the whole flight. It's not coordinated at all. And when you take off the autopilot for do the approach, that's why I was wondering, why is the plane always going to the right? It's like, I can't be that rubbish. But even with the autopilot, it's not coordinated. It's not flying in a coordinated fashion. It's just skirting along. Dave, where are you flying when you do your GA flying? If you are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 20, man, you should have a look in New Zealand and Australia. It's so beautiful. Not as beautiful since the States got their updates though. That is amazing. You know what I like to do, Dave? There's you know, every time that I try to think about it, I just forget what it's called. But there's this app. Where basically you've got pilots, they lease airplanes or they can buy airplanes, and they just have these jobs for money. And you go onto their network, you choose what job you want, you choose the plane you're going to rent from someone, or you're going to buy if you have enough money. You don't start with enough money to buy, so you need to do rentals and stuff like that. You pick up passengers or cargo and you take it where it's supposed to go, get paid for it. I do a lot of that with MFS, and it never gets old, it never gets boring. Alright, let's see, that's 253. Alright, so performance. Next phase. Here we go. Alright, so the QNH for Dublin is going to be 0984. You have control.
I have control.
Temperature is going to be 3 degrees. Wind is going to be 260 at 11. And let me just put in some numbers there. Bear me 2 seconds, guys. Procedure 28 left. It's going to be an ILS approach. Bags to its arrival. Navigraph. Alright, so final approach phase is going to be 2,500 feet. our minimums is going to be 402 feet. And I just plug this into FS2 Pro as well. Approach. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. 2,500 feet. Minimums is 402. And all that good stuff. Are you ready for the approach briefing?
Ready.
So we are going to be landing on runway 28 left. We're going to shoot the ILS approach for 28 left, and we're doing the bags 2x arrival. Our final approach face is going to be 2,500 feet, and we have a missed approach altitude of 3,000 feet. We've got calm winds. It's going to be pretty much down the runway with slight crosswind, not too big a factor, 11 knots. And there's no precipitation. Any questions?
I'm good.
I have control.
You have control.
Okay, let's see, what did I miss? I am the same at the Disciple. I couldn't care less about parts pulling down shades or visible passengers, etc. Just give me a plane that looks good. Most of the system works and flies close to the real thing. The Disciple, if
Checked.
autopilot...
0981 set.
No. The Disciple, and I love GA planes, so there's just less going on in general. If autopilot works and it doesn't feel like I'm flying an RC plane, then I'm generally satisfied. Someone just came out with a beaver updated for XP11. I think I'm gonna buy it. Japan air hauler at Cambridge. No, it's not air hauler. It's something that's free, Dave. Let me see if I can minimize this without affecting the stream. 2 seconds there. Let's see. What's it called? I have it on my desktop somewhere. Let's see. FS Economy. That's what it's called. So FS Economy basically is free, and it's kind of like a marketplace for pilots. So they have jobs in there, and you don't have to be at a specific place. You just go to where you see the money is. Basically, that's how I do it, because I never go into it saying I want to fly this place or that place. If I do, then I don't get to do much exploring, because there's only so much that I know. Whereas with FS Economy, I look for where the money is, where the aircraft is that I want to fly, and then I just go from point A to point B, wherever the money is. Oh, okay. I used to do it before, like if you have a group of friends that, because you can do like your own, kind of like your own virtual airline. If you can do that. Oh, my frames are awful. What am I doing at the moment? Let me see. Are you guys seeing like lag? No, I'm seeing 25. Oh, it's the lights that are coming up. Yeah, like if you have a group of friends or if you join if you join a group, it's a bit more enjoyable than if you're flying on your own, for the main reason that it becomes more like a virtual airline if that's your thing. I'm suffering here with frames, guys, so I am actually going to change the time. I'm going to put it today. I can see this sticking every now and then. I might have to change it today. We'll see as we get closer, because at the moment we are still over the UK, and it's from their lights that it's giving me issues. We still got a good way to go, but I can see the sticking already, so I might change it today. We'll see how it goes. I put a beaver vid in the general chat if you're on my server. Yeah, I'm curious about this beaver. Like, I have no idea what plane it actually is. I'll be honest, I have not loaded up FS26 Christmas, really, other than to make sure it's up to date. As much as I dislike XP9 when I left 11 is not bad. Man, I bought XP11 and I don't know. Michael tried teaching me how to do ortho and I followed. It's either Michael is a crap teacher or I'm a crap student. I just wasn't working out. I couldn't get ortho to look good, so I abandoned it. I made one purchase for XP11 and that was Active Sky. And I see Michael doing his Zero videos and stuff like that, and I would love to fly XP, but too much hassle. I can't get it to look decent enough, and I really don't want to be putting that much time into making stuff decent. While on the other hand, I don't want to be spending that much amount of money either to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna change today. This is really bad. Bear me 2 seconds, guys. Let's change it today.
Part traffic off Bravo, Bravo, right downwind, 26 left land pass.
Let's hope that this OBS, because I used to use a different OBS and it used to be crazy if I changed stuff in the same after it launched, so I'm hoping that this doesn't do similarly. Otherwise I would have screwed the string.
Part traffic off Bravo, Bravo, turning final 26 left to land.
Oh, it wasn't the lights, it was the clouds. Well, I'm not changing it back today to nighttime anymore. But I really thought it was the lights down below that was making things so difficult. Well, I changed it to daytime because my frames were really bad. It was up and down and sticking a lot, so I've changed it to daytime only to realize that it's the clouds. It's the clouds beneath me that's making it that bad. You can see the sticking. So I'm gonna stay inside until we pass this weather. Yeah, I just changed the time. But I don't know if it's because of the stream and this, but my frames seem fine. I'm doing a between 20 and say 24, but I'm still getting sticking every now and then, and it's not my, I don't know if it's my GPU or what, but we are about 50 miles before our top of descent. Micah, I was telling them about how you were teaching me how to do ortho. Remember when you was teaching Johnny and myself how to do ortho? And it's only one of two reasons that ortho hasn't worked out for me. It's either you're a crap teacher or I'm a crap student. I think it's probably I'm a crap student because Johnny got it working fine. But yeah, this, I don't know why it's doing this sticking. I wonder if it's Navigraph. Let me close off Navigraph. That doesn't speak well for you if you've got a 50% rating. A 50% out of 100. Pass marks is usually 75 to 80, bud. I'm gonna close down some stuff and hope that there's not anything that I got that I can close now. I've got pretty much everything open that I need to have open. Let's hope it gets better as we get closer to Dublin. Mike, when you were having trouble with the stream, was it doing similar to this? Okay, we've got Dublin approach, so it's going to be 1 to 100. I am going to tune through off.
Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu, descend flight level 200.
Descend flight level 200, Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
Dublin approach, good evening, Ryanair 129, passing 2,000 feet. Ryanair 129, Dublin approach, good afternoon, you're identified, climb flight level 230, left turn direct Dexon. Cleared flight level 230, left turn direct Dexon, Ryanair 129.
Ryanair 4 Delta established to our left.
Ryanair 4 Delta, speed 160 till 40 ME, contact tower 18.6, bye bye.
Speed 160 till 40 ME and we'll contact tower 18.6. Hopefully don't let speak to you again, Jerry, bye bye.
Oh gosh, he's talking fast.
Dublin approach, good evening to you, sir. The Lufthansa 980 with you inbound Landwa, descending to flight level 12,000 feet.
Lufthansa 980, Dublin approach, good evening. You're identified, cleared Bagso to Lima arrival, landing 28 left, stop descent to flight level 150. Lufthansa 980, you're currently now at flight level 140. Confirm you can fly 150. Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu, descend flight level 150.
Descend flight level 150, Turkish 5.
Lufthansa 980, Dublin approach.
980.
Lufthansa 980, you've descended beyond your cleared flight level. Can you just maintain flight level 150, please? You're now at flight level 130.
Wilco, I'm already starting to raise my flight level.
Roger, and just confirm you can fly the Bagso to Lima arrival.
Bagso to Lima arrival for Lufthansa 980.
Thank you. Ryanair 21, that was unreadable. Last station, that was unreadable. Ryanair 21, that's unreadable, suggest use text. You are cleared on the battery 2 Lima arrival, landing ILS 28 left, information X-ray current.
Okay, that's our top of descent. Let's hope it gets better going down.
Sorry, can I get a mic check now?
That's much better, Ryanair 21, yes. You're identified, battery 2 Lima arrival, landing 28 left.
Battery
Just
2
leaving
Lima
the
arrival
UK at
2
the
left.
moment, so hopefully once the UK is
Ryanair 21.
behind us,
Just confirm that's 28 left.
things get better.
28 left, sorry, yeah.
Ryanair 21, descend flight level 150.
Descending flight level 150, Ryanair 21.
Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu, descend flight level 90.
Descend flight level 980, Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu.
Lufthansa 980, descend to flight level 120.
120 for Lufthansa 980.
Ryanair 21, can you
No
continue
worries,
descent now,
Dave.
flight level
We
80.
just started our descent there.
Flight level 80,
I've got a bit of
Ryanair 21.
sticking, but I'm hoping that it clears up. Otherwise, this land is just going to be awful. If he's in FS 2020, is a crapshoot as to if he can fly the arrival. What do you mean, Dave? Particular aircraft or yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden they're sticking. Oh well, we make do. Oh. You mean the Ryanair guy?
Ryanair 129, nothing further for you right now. Monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
Oh, or you meant the guy that was at 13,000 feet that was supposed to be at 15?
129. So, yeah. Lufthansa 980, descent to flight level 80.
80 for 980.
Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu, descent to flight level 70.
Decent flight level 70, Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
These are aircraft. There we go. Dublin approach, good evening, Lufthansa 978 with you, descending through 30,000 feet, and we are on the bags to X arrival.
Lufthansa 978, Dublin approach, you're identified, Bagzo 2 Lima arrival, landing ILS 28 left, information X-ray is current.
Can I have 2 X-ray instead of 2 Lima?
Negative, it's 2 Lima arrival.
Roger, changing to 2 Lima. Delta, Lufthansa 978. Okay.
Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu, route direct to Lapmo.
Route direct to Lapmo, Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
And Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu, high speed in route.
High speed approved, that is Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
Lufthansa 978, when ready, descend flight level 150.
150 for Lufthansa 978. Okay, so we've changed our arrival from 2 X-ray to 2 Lima.
Turkish 5, Romeo Zulu, descend altitude 3,000 feet to be level by Lapmo, QNH is 984 hectopascal.
Descend altitude 3,000 feet, QNH 984 to be level Lapmo, Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
Ryanair 21, descend to flight level 70.
Descending flight level 70, Ryanair 21.
Dublin approach, Lufthansa 978.
Lufthansa 978, pass message.
I've got some sticking here. I'm going to disconnect briefly and then come back on.
Yeah, no problem. Let me know when you're back.
Roger. Let's see if that helps. No, it does not.
Lufthansa 980, speed 230 knots.
He did put it in the chat.
Say that again?
No worries, the disciple. Thanks for joining us.
Lufthansa 980 did copy back in the text chat.
No, I sent, okay, fine.
Dublin approach, Lufthansa 978 is back with you.
Lufthansa 980, correction, Ryanair 21, no he hasn't, it was me. Lufthansa 980, speed 230 knots please. Reply in text if you can't respond in voice. Nah, it's unreadable, can you just acknowledge in text please? Break, Lufthansa 978, roger, continue flight level 150.
That's 150 for Lufthansa 978.
Ryanair 21, speed 230 knots.
Ryanair 21 speed 230 knots.
Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu from Latmo, clear Dallas approach 28 left, report established.
From Latmo, clear Dallas 28 left, we'll go to Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
Lufthansa 90, that's still unreadable.
I'm gonna try my best with this, guys, but
That's better, can reach now, 5 by 5.
if this sticking, I'm not so sure how my landing is going to be. So apologies for the quality. I have no idea why it is like this at the moment. For you guys who just joined, welcome. We are descending into Dublin. Originally we took off
Turkish
from
5 Romeo
Frankfurt,
Zulu, you can route direct to Maxeb now, and from Maxeb, clear Dallas approach 28 left, report established.
and we've got just about 87 miles to
Clear
go.
Dallas 28 left, we'll go to Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu.
Ryanair 821, Dublin approach on my frequency.
Set seatbelts on.
approach, Ryanair 81 with you.
Ryanair 821 reports passing altitude.
Altitude 4,000 feet.
Ryanair 821, you're identified on departure now, climb flight level 150.
Climb 150, Ryanair 81.
And Ryanair 821, right turn now direct to Liffey.
Direct Liffey, Ryanair 81.
Set
Lufthansa
seatbelts on.
980, right turn now direct to Latmo, descend altitude 3000 feet, QNH 984 into Glasgow.
Direct to Latmo. Direct to Latmo, descend to 3000 feet, QNH 984 for Lufthansa 980.
And Lufthansa 980, speed 210 knots, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting our
210?
Please make sure
Confirm
that your
210.
package is safely stowed.
210 knots.
Electronic devices switch to flight mode. All transmission functions must be switched off completely. Bitte stellen Sie jetzt
Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu, descend altitude 2500 feet.
zurück. Passagiere an
Descend
einem
altitude
Fensterplatz
2500
gebeten, die Sonnenblende zur Landung zu öffnen. Vielen Dank. Ladies and gentlemen, please ensure that your
Lufthansa
seat
980 is
is in
confirmed making that right turn.
position and your table is folded away. Passengers seated in the window seat are kindly asked to open the window shade for landing. Thank you.
Confirming right turn to Latmo, Lufthansa 980.
Roger, thank you. Ryanair 821, speed 290 knots or greater.
Speed 290, Ryanair 821.
Dublin approach, hello, Ryanair 558, is now leaving 4,500 feet on Liffey 6 Alpha departure.
Ryanair 558 Dublin approach, you identified, climb flight level 230.
230, Ryanair 558.
Lufthansa 980 from Latmo, you are cleared, wireless approach 28 left, report established. Lufthansa 980 from Latmo, cleared wireless approach 28 left, report established.
Wilco.
Okie dokie. Ryanair 558 at speed 290 knots or less.
290 knots or less, Ryanair 558.
Ryanair 21, speed 210 knots.
Ryanair 21, speed 210 knots.
Ryanair 21, left turn now direct to lap mode, send altitude 3000 feet, QNH 984 Pascal.
Roger that, direct to lap mode, QNH 983 hectopascal.
Confirm at 3000 feet, speed level by lap.
8 miles, 2 left.
3000 feet, Ryanair 21.
Ryanair 558, speed 290 knots now.
290 knots, Ryanair 558.
Speedbird 44, Dublin approach.
Dash 5 Romeo Zulu, localizer established 6.5 miles, 2 left.
Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu, contact tower now, 118.6, bye bye.
118.6, Turkish 5 Romeo Zulu, confirm 36.
Speedbird 44, Dublin approach, hello.
Speedbird 44, Dublin approach, you identified, climb flight level 230.
5 plus level 230, Speedbird 4.
And Speedbird 44, speed 250 knots or less.
250 knots or less, Speedbird 44.
Ryanair 21, confirm your turning to lap mode.
Confirm.
Roger, Ryanair 21 from lap mode, cleared ILS approach 28 left, port established.
From lap mode cleared to ILS 2H left, will report when established.
Lufthansa 978, descend flight level 80.
Say again, flight level for Lufthansa 978?
Flight level 80.
Flight level 80 for 978.
Ryanair 821, nothing further for you right now. Montinicom 122.8, bye bye.
Montinicom 122.8, Ryanair 821, thank you, bye bye.
Ryanair 558, confirm your current speed.
Ryanair 558, we are now 290 knots.
Roger, thank you.
I don't know, for some reason the stream is sticking, and I've tried disconnecting from VATSIM, I've tried closing down my immersion, and it's still sticking, so we're almost there, so I'm just going to make the most of it. Hopefully you can get the aircraft landed. That's a strange thing, Michael. For the frames, it was showing me something like 20 something. Yeah, 29, 27, 30, which makes no sense.
Speedbird 85, Quebec Dublin approach, identified, Ablin 2 Lima arrival, landing ILS 28 left, information Yankee current. Information Yankee, Ablin 2 Lima arrival.
I'm going to close off active sky and start back active sky.
Speedbird 85, Quebec, descend flight level 90. Flight level 90. Lufthansa 980, able to establish?
I have a problem to catch the ILS. I have to make a turn to 280.
Lufthansa 980, no problem. Report the field in sight.
Field is in sight for Lufthansa 980.
Lufthansa 980, thank you. Contact tower now, 118.6, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I don't know.
Speedbird 44, speed 290 knots or less.
290 knots or less, Speedbird 4.
Ryanair 558, nothing further for you right now. Montinicom 122.8, bye-bye.
122.8, Ryanair 558, thank you very much.
Ryanair 21, just confirming descending altitude 3,000 feet on the QNH 984.
My altitude is set to 3,000, but I'm stuck at 5,000 because I believe that's what my localizer wants me to be on.
Okay, from the ILS it will be 3,000, or you won't capture, but if you say so.
Roger that. I'll try my best.
If you need a visual approach, let me know.
Roger, will do.
Lufthansa 978, speed 230 knots.
Speed 230 for Lufthansa 978.
Checked.
Really sorry about this, guys.
0984 set.
It's not the frames, so I don't know why it's doing it. I'm saying 29 frames and stuff like that, so I don't...
Lufthansa 978, right turn now direct to left mode, descend altitude 3000 feet, QNH 984 to Pascal.
So right turn to rear. Say again the waypoint.
Lap mode.
Roger, direct to lap mode and altitude.
3000 feet, QNH 984.
Roger, direct to lap mode and 3000 feet.
This is Ryanair 21, localizer is established.
Ryanair 21, speed 180 knots now and contact tower, 118.6, bye-bye.
Have a nice time, tower on 118.6. Be seeing you next time.
Yeah. Speedbird 44, nothing further for you right now. Montechinacom 122.8, bye-bye.
122.8, speed 44, goodbye.
Speedbird 85, Quebec, descend to flight level 70.
Approach checklist, please.
Briefing.
Confirmed.
Ecom status.
Checked.
Seatbelts.
On.
Barrow ref.
0984 set.
0984 set. Minimum.
402 feet set.
Speedbird 85, Quebec, route direct to lap mode.
402 feet set. Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Lufthansa 978 from lap mode, cleared ILS approach 28 left, report established.
Roger, clear for the ILS approach with 28 left from lap mode, and we'll report established. Lufthansa 978. Activate approach phase.
Speedbird 85, Quebec, descend altitude 3000 feet to be level by lap mode, QNH 984, Pascal. Entry speed level by lap mode, QNH 984.
Approach phase activated.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Yeah, it's really bad. I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm almost there anyways.
Olympic 463, Dublin approach, good evening. Identified Dublin 2 Lima arrival, landing ILS 28 left. Information Zulu current. Olympic 463, descend flight level 200.
Murphy's Law, guys. Murphy's Law.
Libra 85 Quebec from Lampo, cleared us approach runway 28 left, report established.
Let's get it spread on the ground. Dublin approach, Lufthansa 978, established on 28 left.
Lufthansa 978, contact tower now, 118.6, bye-bye.
Over the tower, have good evening, Lufthansa 978.
See ya.
Just for information, in most of European clearance to start and push as well. But taxi Whiskey 3, turn right onto runway 34, and hold short runway 28 left.
Whiskey
Speed
3,
check.
right turn runway 34, short 28
Flaps
left,
2.
turn 95.
Tower lot 300, request my approach to Warsaw Airport. Information Zulu, stand 209 and Taipei 320.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Lot 300 to PDC, no readback required. Ryanair 21, welcome to Dublin. Vacate right on April, right onto Sierra. Vacating right onto Sierra, Ryanair 21.
Dublin Tower, good afternoon. Lufthansa 978 with you on approach for 28 left.
Lufthansa 978, Dublin Tower, good evening. Continue approach. You are number 1 following on company traffic who is to depart. Service and check 270 degrees, 12 knots.
Roger, continue approach number 1 for Lufthansa 978.
25. 3 Whiskey Sierra, clear for takeoff, runway 28 left. Service
Radio altimeter
Flaps 3.
12
Speed checked. Checked. Flaps 3. Passing final approach fix. 2500 feet.
I have control.
You have control.
Approved, WQNH 985 hectopascal.
Flaps full.
Speed checked. Flaps full. Cabin crew, be seated for landing.
No preference at all. Ryanair 211 from Sierra, left whiskey 2 whiskey. Left whiskey 2 whiskey, Ryanair 21. Ryanair 21, sorry, just cut out for me. So it's left whiskey 2, left whiskey 3, hold short runway 16. Left whiskey 2, left whiskey 3, hold short runway 16.
Cabin crew.
Advice.
Thank you.
Auto thrust.
978, you are cleared to land runway 28 left. Surface wind 270 degrees, 12 knots.
Clear to land, 28 left for Lufthansa 978. Second check.
Auto brake.
Low.
Ecam Memo.
Landing, nobody.
Landing checklist complete.
Last station taken.
This is bad, guys. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this done.
Skyway 2282, push and start is approved. Tug release point Charlie. Dublin QNH 985. Effective Pascal.
I think it's my GPU.
Sync rate.
I got you. Because there's supposed to be loads of trees here and we're not even coming in yet.
1,000.
1,000.
Approaching 28.
Jet card 95, are you visual with the landing Lufthansa on a 2-mile final?
Affirmative, traffic inside, check card 905.
Check card 905, thank you. Behind that landing traffic, line up and lead. 500. Left behind.
Line up and wait 28 left behind, landing traffic, check card 905.
Minimum
400.
Landing.
Checked.
300.
300.
Give it a flight connect, Roger, speed 160 knots till 4 DME. You are
200.
number 2, also traffic
200.
Service and check 270 degrees, 1 2 knots, continue approach.
100.
Climb. 100.
Radar 21, cross runway 16, stick 5, stand
Flare.
220.
20.
Thrust dial.
10.
Cross runway 16, stick 5, stand, could you please
Spoilers.
repeat?
Reverse
122.
green. Decel.
That was horrible.
Stand 122, runway 21.
Roll out.
Skyways 2282, taxi link 4, hotel 1.
1.
Turn left onto runway 34, hold short runway 28 left.
Remaining. 900 meters remaining.
Lufthansa 978, welcome to Dublin. Turn right onto taxiway Sierra.
Right on taxiway Sierra, Lufthansa 978, thank you. That was horrible, guys.
This is Ryanair 21. I'm sorry to say I may have taken link 5 requesting new spot. Any standard choice there on your left.
I'm gonna disconnect this.
Approach is that Ryanair 21.
I have
You've
no
got a
idea what's
connect,
going
reduce
on.
the minimum approach speed, please.
Dublin Tower, Lufthansa 978 is disconnecting. We've got any issues with our signal.
Roger, jet card 95 cleared for takeoff runway 28 left, service and check 270 degrees, 12 knots.
For takeoff 28 left, good day, check card 905.
Alright, guys. What a train wreck. Yeah, I didn't even think I was going to get it on the runway. Minus 401. I do not know the last time that I've actually seen a landing rate like that. Anyways, guys, I am so sorry for the quality the same. We are not going to taxi to the runway, to the we're not going to taxi to the terminal like this. I appreciate all you guys joining in, keeping me company for the flight. Again, apologies for the quality. I literally have no idea what's going on here at all. That's not normal. So I am going to sign off here, have a look and see what's going on, and I will see you guys very soon. Again, appreciate for the likes, appreciate for keeping me company and for the banter, and I will see you when I see you. See ya!